So let's talk about SEO fundamentals. What is local SEO? Is it naming your restaurant Thai food near me? Kind of. So basically, it's the practice of helping search engines like Google and Bing easily find and understand key information about your website in order to improve your traffic and rankings, as many of you know. This is also known as local SEO. So our goal is to give search engines all the relevant information they will need to answer three main questions, which is what services does your business offer? What area are they offered in? And then lastly, when someone searches for, an example, IT services in Chicago or IT services in your city, why should your website be displayed? So does your website totally satisfy that query? Would someone searching that phrase be happy about landing on your website, or they're going to go immediately back to the search results page and look for other options? So that's really what we're going to focus on today, is answering those three questions with your website. So continuing on with fundamentals, let's talk about keywords, why you should be targeting them, what keywords you should be targeting. The biggest volume MSP/IT service industry keywords are IT services in city, you might have guessed, IT support in city, and managed IT services in city. This is the case across literally every market in the US. So if your business is in the US, you need to target these three big keywords, essentially. I pulled the data for Chicago for this example. So just to kind of normalize it a bit, so obviously Chicago's a big city, but on average, there's 480 searches for IT support Chicago every month, basically. I also want to point out that people do search for managed IT services. I get a lot of people telling me they don't, but they're wrong. So they clearly are searching for managed IT services in Chicago, or of course, across the entire United States. So these are really the bread and butter keywords when it comes to local SEO for MSPs. And everybody knows it. That's why they tend to be more competitive. IT support, IT services, managed IT services are the most competitive. And that goes double for crowded markets like Chicago. But there are people searching for specific services as well that you guys offer: cybersecurity, VoIP phone systems, compliance, Office 365 installation. The volume is much lower, as you might expect, but so is the competition. So not everyone has a dedicated compliance page or a dedicated VoIP systems page. So that's something that we'll talk about as well. Speaking of fundamentals, let's talk about some long-tail keywords. So long-tail keywords are essentially the main keywords that we just talked about, but we're kind of adding stuff to them. They're searched less often, and they can typically convert at higher rates, and they have typically lower volume, is really how it works. As you can see by this wonderful dinosaur graphic, we're targeting the tail of the dinosaur where the volume is lower, but so is the competition. So yeah, we're basically like taking our main services, main keywords and adding stuff to it, like IT support for dental practices, IT support for municipalities, law firms, et cetera, et cetera. Industry and vertical keywords are really great for MSPs to build pages around, because that's kind of like how people are searching when they niche down a little bit and get more specific. The same keyword formula of IT support plus vertical is relevant for almost every single industry. So no matter what your niche is, no matter what verticals you're targeting, you can use this formula. I've talked to MSPs who are using pages like this for auto dealerships, the fashion industry, and even marinas. So even if only 5 people a month are searching for IT support for marinas, the odds are those are the exact type of people that you're looking for. So yeah, focus on long-tail keywords. Okay, so let's talk about what's working. Some of you might be rolling your eyes because title tags are literally 20 years old, but I just want to reiterate the importance of having strong title tags that include your keyword plus location. That's really the most important part, keyword plus location. For anyone who's not familiar, the title tag is quite literally the title of your page, and it's also the blue text that is displayed by search engines on the search results page. So in this case, it's Chicago Managed IT Services and Managed IT Services Chicago. These are literally the top results when you go search it. So yeah, the title tags here are, again, Chicago Managed IT Services, Managed IT Services Chicago. Keyword plus location, just want to reiterate that is kind of what we're going for. Take your keyword, IT support, add your location, you got it. You don't have to be so cut and dry. You can be creative. It doesn't have to be literally managed IT service Chicago. You can say, I don't know, #1 or best or whatever you want. But the point is that I'm trying to hammer home is that you have to have keyword plus location. Okay, let's talk about H1 tags. So these again are fundamental SEO elements that have been talked about for years and years and years, but I just want to reiterate the importance and demonstrate that it's working with real life examples. This page literally ranks like #2 for managed IT service Chicago. So yeah, if you click through to the top result, which is from the previous slide, you'll see that this company is using the exact same strategy. H1 tag, keyword plus location, managed IT service Chicago, highly responsive service at competitive rates, security built in, keyword plus location in the H1, keyword plus location in the title tag. If you aren't familiar with how to edit your title tags or your H1 tags, if you have a TMT website, you can reach out to Vertical Action for support, or if you happen to manage your own website that has that is on WordPress, then you can use a plugin called Yoast SEO that will help you do all of this. There's super great functions and features. There's like a bulk editor where you can do all of this in like 10 minutes for all of your pages. So check out Yoast SEO if you're on WordPress. Let's see. What can I go next? Okay, let's talk about what is not working, which stems from a general lack of strategy, essentially. So what's not working at the moment is not having a plan, basically. So it's very important that when you build out your website, or even retroactively, you can go audit your website, audit the content on your site, audit what pages you have, and make a plan for them. In most cases, you want to focus on 1 to 2 keywords per page. So obviously, we talked about keywords earlier, which ones you want to target. It makes sense to have services. We can do questions at the end, sorry. Yeah, it makes sense to have pages built around your services, like a cybersecurity page, a VoIP page, a compliance page. But what we see often, that I see almost weekly, is people targeting the same keywords on multiple pages. So in here, we're targeting literally the same IT support in City on 4 different pages. On your home page, you might have an IT support page, you might have a separate IT services page, and then on your contact us or location page, you're also using the exact same keywords. So I would highly recommend you not do this and make a plan for which pages you're using to target which keywords. Make a very specific plan. And again, you can audit your existing content. So yeah, the solution is to consolidate all of these pages into one. So by doing this, we create a stronger page from an SEO perspective and a better user experience by having the best possible information on one page. Okay, so a quick recap of basically everything we just talked about. We talked about giving search engines key information about our website and business, what services we offer, where we offer them. We talked about using our title and H1 tags to send those signals, what keywords we're targeting, what location, what services, what location, to tell search engines directly. And then last part, let's talk about when someone searches for IT services in Chicago or IT services in your city, why should your website be listed instead of a competitor's? That's really the most important part. Does your landing page satisfy the query? What can we do to satisfy the query? And the answer is to put unique content on all your pages, on your services pages, on your vertical pages, on your location pages. We recommend adding testimonials, case studies, FAQs, and your onboarding process. I recommend these things for the reason that you already have them. A lot of time you have to go create new content. This stuff you already have. You already have testimonials. You can turn them into case studies. You already have FAQs. If you don't, you can talk to the person who answers the phones, get FAQs from them, and you know your onboarding process. You can put it down on your page and benefit. So testimonials, particularly those that are relevant to your specific service page, is an easy way to bolster the content on your page, provide great information for your users. Case studies, they're an easy way to restate your services and your value proposition, to add keywords to your page. And I always recommend kind of like rewriting your testimonials. For example, you can have a case study that might look like client ABC was experiencing an issue with their network. We were able to diagnose the problem using our tools. This is how we solved it. These were the results. Here's the testimonial. Put that on your page, and people will eat it up, and so will the search engines. FAQs, again, you have exclusive knowledge of what kinds of problems your clients are facing in your area. Take note of some of the questions being asked to you or the person answering the phones, create a list of FAQs, and you'll be surprised by how often people are throwing these questions into search engines and your page can come up, especially when they're currently experiencing an issue. Some common FAQs we see are, what are managed IT services? Who are managed IT services for? What's the difference between break-fix managed services? What do managed services cost? And what services are included? Okay. Putting this all together, this is an example from Tech in San Antonio, who's a member of ours. So at the top, H1, managed IT services in San Antonio, which we talked about. There's a call to action above the fold, which is always important. Click here to schedule a discovery call now. And then here, what managed IT services do growing businesses need? Conveniently, it's all the ones we offer. Here's links to all of them. You know, it's always good to internally link all your pages, link to all your other services pages here, and then boom, right into FAQs. What are managed IT services? Managed IT services versus break-fix. Who is managed IT services for? What does the managed IT services contract include? What do managed services for San Antonio and Austin cost? Here's another call to action. Here's some more reasons why we're awesome. We understand your needs. There's also a little free report pop up. Here's some like authority signals. Here's their onboarding process, schedule discovery call. This is what's going to happen if you click this button, schedule discovery call. Customize your support. Here's testimonials. And also, if you don't want to schedule a discovery call, boom, there's a form. You can do that instead. So putting it all together kind of looks like that. Oh, there we go. So yeah, what we quickly just broke down is what they call on-page SEO. We're targeting managed IT services, which we know people are searching for. Then we're sending the right signals to search engines. Hey, I offer managed IT services in San Antonio. And then lastly, we're using all of our unique content, our FAQs, our case studies, our onboarding process, our testimonials, and we're telling the search engines, this is why you should list my website. All of the information a user could possibly need is right here, and we're telling them what to expect. That's what kind of the onboarding process is. Hey, we have the service you want. Here's what's going to happen if you contact us. Okay, moving on. I'm going to talk about Google Business Profile. So, formerly called Google My Business, it plays a big part in your local SEO by directly sending Google important information about your business. So if you want your MSP to rank on Google for your keywords, your business must have a Google Business Profile, and it needs to be optimized. You literally cannot rank without a Google Business Profile. The first two here are the most important: primary category and complete business information. Computer support and services is the primary category that you want to pick. And then obviously having complete business information, we'll talk about it in a minute, but it's very, very difficult to rank for IT services keywords without the first two. And I'll show you an example. So if you go Google, anywhere, go and Google IT support, IT services, managed IT services in your city, and I guarantee you will see the same thing. Every company that is ranking in the local pack is using computer support and services as their primary category. A lot of times we see, or I see, computer consultant listed on some MSPs, or computer repair services as your primary category. If you're using either of those, go change them literally right now, or after this. But yeah, when you select your primary category, it has to be computer support and services, at least as of today. Otherwise, you're just doing yourself a disservice. Okay, talked about primary category. Complete business information, it's kind of self-explanatory. Make sure you have your hours filled out, your address, your phone number. Add images of you. Images of you help with click-throughs. Your team, your office, inside and out. If you work from home, that's okay. You can skip the photos of your house. You don't need those. But yeah, pictures of your real office make a big difference. And again, pictures of you and your team also make a big difference. Okay, oopsies. Oh, what did I do? Okay, yeah. Okay, let's talk about services. Yeah, that's where our services. Okay, so when you created your Google Business Profile, you likely added a bunch of services. Basically, you can list as many as you want in the section that's literally called services. But Google will auto-suggest for you services that they think are relevant based on what they've crawled on your website. So you need to accept them, essentially. I'll show you on the next slide. There's some data that suggests, and it really does more than suggest, it almost proves that accepting these recommendations and adding these recommended services will give you a boost for these specific keywords. So this is something you can literally go do and improve your SEO right now. So to do that, head to business.google.com, and then you're going to click a little pencil icon, and it's going to take you to the search results page, and then you're going to click this Edit Services button. This is where you make all your Google Business Profile changes. And then you're going to see a menu that looks like this. So all the white keywords are the ones that either you added or you've previously accepted automatic recommendations, and then all the blue ones are the ones that Google says, hey, we think that these are relevant to you. You can prune them. You might not need website, email, or white glove service, but the rest of them are pretty good. Healthcare IT services, managed print services, blah, blah, blah. If you accept those, literally click accept in the top right, essentially you'll get a boost from these auto-recommended keywords. And you're done. So while you're there, you can add your services as products. I recommend adding literally all your services as products. VoIP, cybersecurity, managed IT services, healthcare IT services, whatever pages you have, you can add them as products, you can add these services as products, and it'll give you a little extra space on the search results page for a list of all your products. And then there's also an area to the right where you can add posts. Now, posts are just kind of a way to update people on your like business news or new services, promotions, events, service spotlights, things like that. There's also no harm in reusing the same posts, so you can take 6 months of posts, and then the next 6 months literally just redo them, or whatever you want to do. And as far as frequency goes, monthly is pretty good. You can do twice a month if you want. But the point is that just go throw something up there, make some posts. Okay, let's talk about reviews. Reviews are important for SEO and for your reputation as a whole. So there's not really a set number of reviews to aim for, but a good goal is to generate them slowly over time. If you do it too fast, it can look fishy. And if you accumulate a bunch, say over the course of 3 months, and then don't accumulate any more, that can also be bad. The goal is to kind of accumulate them slowly over time. Again, if you don't get any fresh reviews for a while, it will definitely negatively impact you. So yeah, on that same menu I just showed you, there is another icon that says Ask for Reviews. Let's see if I can go back to it real quick. Okay, if you click that Read Reviews button, you can then ask for reviews. And anyways, it'll create a short link for your profile that you can send users straight to Google to leave reviews. So some MSPs that I've talked to will send this after they finish a job or close a ticket. There's a million ways you can ask for reviews, but the main point is that you're generating reviews, you have some sort of review gathering strategy, in general. So let me just put these all out here. Moz's local business review survey found the following. 96% of people read reviews, of course. 86% of consumers say reviews are the most important or a somewhat important factor. 90% of consumers are influenced to a moderate or extreme degree by owner responses to reviews. This is why you have to respond to your reviews. And 62% of negative reviewers would give a local brand a second chance after an owner response solves their problem. So again, make sure you have a plan for A, acquiring reviews, and then B, also responding to both your positive and negative reviews. For positive reviews, you can just say, hey, thanks for the review. We enjoy working with you. And for negative reviews, try to solve the issue. Obviously, they're not all real. Maybe it's a fake review, but just do the best you can to apologize and find some kind of resolution. Citations. So what is working is citations. What the hell are citations? Citations are places on the internet that list your website's name, address, phone number, and website, otherwise known as NAPW. The big four are Google Business Profile, Facebook, Bing, and Apple Business Connect. Most places have at least 3 of the 4 because Apple Business Connect is pretty new. But if you want to learn more about Apple Business Connect, you can go to our blog and read the article I wrote. It's really great, obviously. There's also an extended network of citations ranging from local places like your local Chamber of Commerce. You can go there. Usually you have to pay a small fee to get listed by the local Chamber of Commerce. And then there's also industry websites like Clutch, CloudTango. If you don't have Clutch and CloudTango listings, go look into them immediately. They'll definitely give you a small boost. And there's also these other there's a bunch of websites out there that list your name, address, phone number, website, like MapQuest and Superpages. Yeah, MapQuest still exists. So why do I bring this up? Essentially, there's evidence that acquiring citations from 50 to 80 citation sites will have a positive impact on your SEO and lead to increased activity on your Google business profile in the form of people clicking to get directions, placing phone calls, and clicking through to your website. Yeah, there's some services out there that you can do to gather citations. Essentially, they'll do it for you. And then also we have the Done For You Boost program, which is new. It's kind of like a conversion-focused SEO program. For the monthly fee, you'll get daily social posts on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google Business Profile. You'll get, I believe, 5 a week. You'll get a full digital audit. You'll get pillar content, which we didn't really go into today, but essentially it's long-form content that we will build out for you to target keywords that are related to your industry, your verticals. Services pages, which we talked about today, how to optimize your services pages, how to add that unique content to your pages will help you with that. We'll also help you with your directory listings, Clutch, Cloud Tango, and Upcity. We'll help you optimize them and get them up. We'll help you with custom landing pages for your niches and locations. We'll help you with retargeting setup, and then we'll help you with CallRail to track all of these initiatives. We'll track your calls from organic. We'll track your calls from from ads and from social. Then we'll help you with your citation audit and cleanup, help you with Google Analytics and your Google Business Profile optimization. Make sure you're using the right categories. Make sure you have those products in place, things like that. So yeah, this is for people who want to start online lead conversion and don't have a lot to spend on ads or the market is saturated. That's really all I have for you today, but we have about 7 minutes for some questions. If anybody has questions, hey, go ahead. Oh, sorry, there's a microphone, 1 second. He's bringing a microphone to you.
So we're in the Northeast. To focus our keyword on the city is not a usable strategy. We have to focus on 2 to 3 states.
Sure.
What do we do in that case?
I would say that the cities is probably still, it depends on, I mean, each case is a little bit different. What part of the Northeast are you in?
We're in the Connecticut, Rhode Island area and Massachusetts.
In some cases, you can target the state. For instance, New Jersey, I've seen a lot of success just targeting New Jersey as a whole. So targeting maybe Connecticut and Massachusetts. Massachusetts, I would bet maybe there's
We have an offering that also goes all over New England. So now we got 13 states.
So this is when I get a lot like, oh, obviously you're not saying this, but some people, they target a large area. And the strategy I recommend is to just kind of multiply this strategy to create landing pages for those locations specifically. So take the most, like if you're targeting Boston, make a page just for Boston. Sometimes there's like, like local, I don't have any good examples, but there's like locally known, like, a group of towns is called X, like the so-and-so area. I can't even think of a good example. But it's like locally known that this group of towns is called whatever. Yeah, the Tri-Cities, exactly. So, you can make a page targeting Tri-City. There's lots of ways to do it. Mostly it's kind of just to take this strategy and multiply it out by all your locations. And again, you can target states. But if the small states, again, I've seen New Jersey be successful, but it's really, I would recommend testing it. And then if it's not working on the state level, then niche down into the city level. That's what probably I would recommend. Go ahead. Oh, sorry, can you get the microphone? I'm sorry.
Early on, you were talking about the H1 tags and the title tags, and what I noticed is a lot of the URLs were a copy of the title tag, but with hyphens in them. Is the page name itself important?
Google will say no, but I will say yes. I've seen it work, and yeah, I'm not going to say it's important, but it will help.
And then, like in this gentleman's example, he's going to end up with 47 different web pages.
Yeah.
Are we putting all of those in the pull-down menu, or just put them in kind of links at the bottom? Or you don't want to from a usability perspective, I don't want to have IT support, IT services, in my pull down menus, right?
Sure. Yeah. I will say this. If you go and Google IT services in X area, wherever you're competing, you'll see the pages that I'm talking about, this strategy multiplied out by 40 or whatever. You'll see individual location pages for all these cities. That's what basically every big MSP is using right now, is this exact strategy. Now, whether or not you want to include them in your menu is really up to you. Some people put them in the footer. Some people have like a locations we serve drop down. They put them all in the locations we serve. How you organize it is not super important as much as having the pages built out.
We do Houston, Austin, San Antonio. Do you think there's any value in targeting Texas?
I would say probably not, unless it is industry specific. If you're targeting like something pretty niche, like somebody I talked to targets fasteners. So maybe you could say fasteners for Texas, something like that, or maybe even healthcare, even though that's a little broad, but something along those lines. If you're doing just these keywords that we're talking about, IT support, IT services, managed IT, I would target cities.
We have several great Google reviews already from all-star clients of ours, but they're from 3 to 5 years ago. Would it be reasonable to ask for them to redo a Google review and just keep adding on so that it's frequent?
I do think you can update them, so you could ask them to just update their old reviews and then like republish,
Okay.
and then they'll be fresh. So yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Thanks.
Just a question about multiple locations. How important is it to vary the content? Like if we were saying like Vermont IT services and then New Hampshire IT services, or however many states we go, how important is the content to be different?
The content is, it's important. I'd say a ratio to aim for is like 60-40, 60 unique per page, and then 40 you can reuse it. So if you want to reuse like kind of the same, there's only so many ways you can talk about managed IT services. So if you want to reuse that stuff, but then like if you could swap out the testimonials, if you had different testimonials for each place, maybe a couple different FAQs, stuff like that, find ways to differentiate and aim for like a 60-40 ratio.
Thank you.
Fair. Yeah, sure.
What do you think about incentivizing Google reviews and also getting multiple Google reviews kind of around the same period from one client if you're incentivizing them?
I think you're not supposed to incentivize them, but I mean, who's going to know? So go for it. So yeah, I would do it if it's worth it. I mean, if it's working, keep doing it. But as far as getting 2 reviews from the same person,
Really same location. We've just had Google block things where 4, 5, 6 reviews come in 1 week from the exact same company. Maybe it's IP address that it's seeing that this same IP address is sending reviews.
yeah, that kind of stuff, you have experience with, they'll flag it and they'll think it's fishy. So I would definitely recommend asking them to do it over time or communicating with them somehow. Hey, these are getting blocked. Can you wait a little while to give us a review or something?
Thank you.
Sure. There's a guy back there.
Hey, Devin, I'm the one who drives you crazy all the time.
Hey, man. Oh, yeah. Hey, Devin. Oh, yes, that guy. No, I'm playing.
What tool were you using to look up the keywords that you were in the beginning?
So that tool is called SEMrush. There's like a million different services you can use. Sorry, did you have more to your question?
No, just how do we get that was my biggest one. And the other one was, how do you determine which long tail keywords you want to add in? Or is that more company specific?
So that's a good question. So yeah, to answer your first question, number one, we use SEMrush, which is awesome, but it's kind of expensive. But there's really like 50 different keyword research tools out there. Google has one called the Google Keyword Planner you can use. There's free tools you can use. You get like 10 searches a day or so, which is probably enough. There's Ubersuggest, there's Moz.com, there's Ahrefs. I mean, there's Mangools, there's like 50 different ones. If you're going to use one, I guess go try Moz, try Ubersuggest. I know they have free trials to do the same keyword research we do. And then for long tail keywords, you can do the same process. Throw your long tail keywords into the keyword research tools. As far as which ones should you target, I would typically take like your services pages or your industry pages and go with combinations of those. Sometimes like, okay, if you service, say dentists, and dentists use a specific software, so you're servicing the same software for these dentists, 9 out of 10 times, then you can target some keywords based on like, long tail in that way with the software, or, whatever. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Any other questions? I think I'm over time, actually. Yeah. Do we have one more minute? Sorry, this guy. What you got? Just go ahead. It's all right. Just go ahead. Go ahead. It's okay.
All right, so one, you said that to target a single keyword per page, does that apply to blog posts? And two, what kind of responses are good for reviews, assuming they're a positive review?
So for blog posts, I'm just going to say 1 or 2 is also pretty good. You can expand it, but yeah, I would probably keep it to 1.
If I use the same keywords, if I'm Knoxville Managed Services, can I find a way to incorporate that into blog posts without being online?
Yeah, for sure. You should definitely write content about your services pages and then link to your services pages. That's the way to do it. And then, sorry, what was your second question?
What are good responses to reviews on Google, or does it matter? Thank you very much.
Yeah, just say, hey, thanks. We love doing business with you. We appreciate the review. Go ahead.
Assuming we actually proofread it, ChatGPT?
Google says that they can detect, the AI content. So I would say you can use it, but you should try to put some, try to change it up. Exactly.
Yeah, you guys actually stole my questions, so thank you.
That's it. That's all I got. Sorry, guys.